Hey guys, welcome to this video, and today I want to talk about The Force Awakens and The Phantom Menace. As a Star Wars movie, The Force Awakens has a lot in common with A New Hope, but it also has a lot in common with The Phantom Menace as well. Both had a kickstart trilogies that were going to be directly compared to the original Star Wars trilogy. They also both had to introduce new characters and worlds and begin a three-part story that would make up an important part of the Skywalker bloodline's history. But in this video, I want to talk about several ways The Phantom Menace did way better than The Force Awakens. The first way it did better is the way they introduced new characters alongside familiar characters that we've already seen before. In The Phantom Menace, we see a non-exiled Yoda leading the Jedi Council of Mace Windu. We also see a young Obi-Wan Kenobi getting trained by the wise master Qui-Gon Jinn. We see Anakin Skywalker as a doe-eyed kid described as the Chosen One. George Lucas interwove his new characters with familiar characters. The Force Awakens, however, thanks to Disney's over-reliance on the audience's nostalgia, underdeveloped the new characters in the first act and then sidelined them throughout the rest of the movie in favor of catching up with the original trilogy's lead characters. The second reason being the villain of The Phantom Menace is way better than Kylo Ren. Darth Maul only appeared as a villain in The Phantom Menace. He wasn't being primed for a multi-movie arc. He was just a pawn in Palpatine's larger game, but he still managed to make more of an impression than Kylo Ren in Disney's sequel trilogy. Maul was a genuinely terrifying presence, like Darth Vader was in the original trilogy. Kylo Ren, on the other hand, is just portrayed as a bratty kid in The Force Awakens. He has never felt like a real threat. He has never successfully scared the audience, and his repeated failures give fans little fear that he'll succeed in dominating the galaxy, even with him killing Snoke in The Last Jedi. The next reason that I have for The Phantom Menace being better is some of the creative decisions that they made in the making of the movie. We all have to admit that George Lucas went through a painstaking length to make The Phantom Menace stand out from the original trilogy. He designed a more technologically advanced society because, unlike the original trilogy, the prequels were set out during a time of widespread peace. He pioneered CGI software to depict battle droids as the new faceless villains as opposed to the stormtroopers. And he gave us brand new worlds like the Monarchy Naboo and the city planet Coruscant. The Force Awakens was less bold, rehashing the Rebels vs. Empire conflict from the original trilogy and updating the stormtroopers' armor instead of replacing them, and giving us yet another desert planet. My next reason being the themes that we see in the prequel trilogy. Although it's yet another Chosen One story, which if you think about it is the most overused plot line in science fiction and fantasy, but The Phantom Menace has a lot of strong themes, including fear and loyalty. The Force Awakens doesn't have much in the way of thematic substance. Every creative decision was made based on the aesthetic of the Star Wars universe and the stock characters that we're used to. Now my last reason, and probably the biggest reason why I like The Phantom Menace more than The Force Awakens, is that it didn't reuse any old plot lines that we've already seen before. Okay, The Phantom Menace does end with Anakin reluctantly taking a spacecraft and blowing up the Trade Federation's outposts, but the overall plot of The Phantom Menace is an original space opera. The Force Awakens copied the Rebels, the Empire, the masked villain, the planet-exploding space station, and the basic story structure of A New Hope. The Phantom Menace introduced us to new worlds, new characters, and new story possibilities. It set up the tragic rise and fall of Anakin Skywalker, establishing the prequel trilogy as a type of story that we've never seen in the Star Wars saga before. Now this isn't to say that I didn't enjoy The Force Awakens. This is just me comparing the two movies as they are both the start of their own respective trilogies. But I want to know what you think of The Force Awakens and The Phantom Menace in the comments down below. And if you want to see more content like this relating to Star Wars, then subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next one.